they're qualitative, but how do you quantify them? And I really hate that, because what tends to happen is this. A judge says, I want you to use some different colors. And you're like, oh, so can you tell me how to do that? You know, use different colors. What?
Get another bar.
So I interpreted this as if you change and try to use some different vocal tracks, not constantly, it'll be like a line of a song. It changes the overall sound. You've heard this, the O to the to the A. So let's start this song off, and let's see if we can find some places where we can just change it a little bit, and it will add a different spark and overall color to the sound. But let's just default from now on is track. That's it. Default is up. Make sense? You seem to like it, so it's good. All right, good. Let's do it. The night is new.
The night is new, my dear sweetheart, and you and I are young.
Good. Can you sing all of that in 6? So I love the space that you're giving me, but the night is new, my dear sweetheart. It's not going to cut it. It's not barbershop anymore. Some other art form, right? So I need that. Here we go.
The night is new, my dear sweetheart, and you and I are young.
Good, just for fun, just for play. This is a bit sandbox right now. On the first chord of young, I want you to give an ounce more of a. Just an ounce. So it's not going to go, night is new, my dear sweetheart, you and I are not but versus and then as the chords progress through, I want you to add more to it. Alright, if that makes sense. Because I want that first chord on young to almost feel like, hey, you know, like there's a senior quartet in our district that sings this song, and when we were talking about it at one point on that word, it's almost, for them, it was remembering the proposal, or remembering getting married, or remembering when they were young. So we wanted it to sound a bit youthful, right? So a little bit more and then let it just filter out, right? Here we go.
The night is new, my dear sweetheart, and you and I are young. But no pale moonlight or stars so bright are lovely as you tonight.
Good. Let's actually work on the intro just a bit, and here's why. Your number is pretty well down, right? You know that, that's the game. We pretty well circle the area that the chorus is singing in right now. Right? You need to know the game, how you're being judged, right? You need to know how you're being judged. The circle bubble is created. I know approximately where I'm going to score you on my sheet, within 10 points, which is pretty small, right? So what you want is that bubble to be as high as possible after those bars. I didn't like young as much as I thought I would, but no pale moonlight, can you try a little bit of blue track? So it's going to go like, but no pale. In fact, just for fun, this is loo, this intro. Just loo. I just want you to hear what blue track sounds like. I'm going to shout out a vocal track, and I want you to sing. Right? So if I go na, you're singing nas. If I go nu, and na, and na. All right? Those are the three we're going to play with. Start off with na.
I'm saying words or
Na, nu, or na. And I'll tell you, you're starting with na. But no pale moonlight, ooh, and on light, on the chord on light, as it's crescendoing, you're like, but no, so there's a bit of purse of the lips, and it's a smaller framework, but no pale moonlight, and on light, you're actually going to allow that to open up more to an space. Don't change the vowels, just change the space. All right? From the top, track. You're feeling and O space. The night is new, my dear. That's O, right? O. Just go. Feel that? There's something there. It's not O. Yeah. Feel it right in the tone too. The night is new. Right at the end, if you're ever hitting a note and you want it to lift a little bit like that, you just a little bit more add in the mix, and suddenly, oh, that's interesting. I really like that pale moonlight because it complements what you're doing dynamically, but it brings it down. No pale moonlight, and then it just naturally opens up.
Is that like changing the color?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what it is to me, because it sounds like it tastes like a different flavor, right? It's like, oh, okay, like I'm a red wine drinker, so it's like, okay, have some Merlot, and then, you know, oh, this is a different flavor, right? So that's exactly what it is when you're talking about those colors. One thing I would like to do is also sing this in tune, because that's really important. You know, what a jerk, right? So can I have leads? Can we do that exercise where we just hold the pitch and leads? You're going to show us where those pitches should lie.
So upper or lower?
Doesn't matter, we're going to get everyone moving. So I'm going to go note to note. I want you to hear where it needs to sit, and everything you're going to sing is in the odd track. Here we go. Can we have the ooh basses and basses and ooh baritones and tenors? Here we go. Ooh, the night beats, the night is new, my dear sweetheart, and you and I are young. You can really hear where those pitches needs to lie, leads especially. Yeah, dear is going to be kind of, night is new, my dear. Kind of one of those. Can I do the exact same thing on the ooh, just everyone on the ooh, except basses? It's your turn. So let's see the E flat. Ooh, basses, the night will go. The night is blue. I think the third of that the da 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 is even higher than what you think it is. One more time. Ooh, the night is blue, my dear sweetheart, and you and I are young. Good, sing young, and make that fifth just explode. Young and ooh, please. Young. Sounds like in tune. Can I have E flat? Baritones and leads, baritones and tenors. Ooh, leads. The faces, the night is blue, my dear sweetheart, and you and so this is an exercise that I'd suggest right now, and we'll do a bit of it tomorrow too, but I'm going to suggest that this is an every week exercise, but it's not, you don't have to work the same passage, it's just, let's just take a chunk of music and do it every week to get our ears tuning to a higher level. Because right now you're just agreeing on, let's just agree on something a little flatter. And it's hard to get that ring out of lower notes, right? Mark Hale arranged this in E flat for a reason. He thought this is a good key for this to sing in. So let's do that, all four parts. Can we just speak? It's the night is new, my dear, right? Speak that.
The night is new, my dear.
Is it my dear or my dear?
My dear.
My dear? The night is new, my dear. Say that.
The night is new, my dear.
Yeah, so it sounds like to me, this isn't the first thing out of your mouth. This is mid-sentence or mid-conversation, right? Because if I go, the night is new, my dear sweetheart, I wouldn't say that. That's the first thing out of my mouth. The night is new, my dear, but I might say, oh, you know, it's so great that we're here, and you know, the night is new, my, you know, it's almost like it's starting mid-sentence. So your breath has to be that way. So it's not, the night is new, my dear. That doesn't make sense, but the night is new, my dear. Right? Say that.
The night is new, my dear.
Good. Let's sing it that way. Breathing in that way.
The night is new, my dear sweetheart, and you and I are young.
Good. I don't want to hear pitches. I want to see your thumbs. If you're in pitch, you're going to do that. If you're a bit sharp, you're going to do that. And if you're flat, you're going to show us how much. Go. Thumbs. Let's hear E flat. Right? It's not there, it's there. Good. Any way sharp, by the way, is all the way up. I don't want great way sharp. If you're above, it's a thumbs up. Good. Do it again, and let's see if we can get everyone to thumbs at least there.
The night is blue, my dear sweetheart, and you and I are young.
Good. Where are your thumbs? Show me your thumbs. Where's pitch? Much better, right? Do it again. Keep going.
Deer.
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 It's deer and leads. I want you to think this way, and bases, I also want you to think that way. That was that one that bases, we didn't quite get up to that third, right? But keep going this time.
The night is blue, my dear sweetheart, and you and I are young. But no pale moonlight or stars so bright or lovely as you
Good, where are we? Thumbs. Most people feel pretty well on this here. Just close, right? But it's much closer than where it's been. It's actually been about here most of the time. So that's there, right? But you can see how hard you have to work just to keep it there, right? So let's do that one more time, and let's have a successful intro where when we hit some, we're at least there. By the way, that's satisfactory. That's yeah! And that's, we better get back to satisfactory, all right? But this is really important, and it's an important skill to develop. So here's where you can make up pitch. This is an important one too. The end of a line where you're holding that note and you kind of dynamically do that, you can also think, let's just do that a little bit with the pitch as well. Just let's lift. So when I use the term lift, usually it means both pitch and dynamic volume, right? So it's literally everything's doing that a little bit. Don't like go, something weird. It's not a warm-up exercise.
Like a step change.
Yes, yeah, not quite that. Yeah, but the just watch out because it's all in the space. If you let it go here in the then you're dead meat. Yeah. If you can keep that bite in your then you're good to go. Here we go. Let's get that first breath as the night is new. So it's quick and nice together. Here we go.
The night is blue, my dear
Yes.
sweetheart, and you and I are young.
Good space. Light.
But no pale moonlight or stars so bright or lovely as you just the way you look
You guys are awesome, and the reason why is because you jump in and you just do, right? Like I've asked you to do things, you're like, okay, here we go, crazy guy, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and you're doing such a fabulous job. It sounds really wonderful, and it's a very, what we call a very homogeneous sound, right? Everything is binding together different, or when we're not exactly together on cutoffs or starts. Believe it or not, all the vowel sounds, you're doing such a magnificent job of keeping that open that that's not the issue. But it's now, hey, let's make sure we start and end all of those things together, because that makes a big difference. But that sounds great. And I know that you've competed with it and did some fabulous stuff with it already, but that's like a next level thing. The tuning stuff is going to be a constant, right? Like all choruses, I can't tell you how much we work on it. Every week we talk about tuning. Every chorus does. You can't stop. But we try and do little exercises and then go, okay, we need to forget about this for a while. Because it does play at you after a while. You start to do weird things. You get the baritone and start to do that. Leads are like, trying to splat and sing higher. But it is something that we address almost every week in a different way. And sometimes it's like we just did. We just let you sing for a while too, which is important, to feel that. But that was really, really well done. Good. I don't know if we want to do yawn, which everyone should be able to do right now. You feel it drop. Now, if you go into a full yawn, it will really drop, right? So I'm in the land of inches. So if you do this, like when I fully drop, it's a good 1.5 inch drop, full yawn. But the beginning of a yawn, I feel it just go a little bit, not a ton. That's approximately, like, vocal teachers don't agree on much, but one thing that most of us agree on is that the larynx has to sit kind of in a relaxed, buoyant position when we sing. Now, if you swallow, you feel it go way up. So there are basically, to put it really simply, there are two different mechanisms that work. One is an elevator, the elevators, which are things that, ligaments that lift up the larynx, and depressors, things that pull down, right? And basically, in a day, you swallow way more than you yawn. So you're constantly using your elevator muscles. And what is happening is that we bring it into our singing. So exactly like the yawn and the swallow, if you go will go more towards the swallow, more towards the release. So what we're trying to do is sing with some of that release in our tone. That's it. Now there's all bands of muscles and things and ligaments that attach. And I like to think of it as, and this is probably what you're feeling. If this is your larynx, imagine like a collar wrapping around it. And oftentimes when we're in that A position, that feels like it's squeezing. So what ends up happening is we feel right in here as if something is just doing that. And long term, like at the end of the evening, that's when people are like, hoarse or whatever. But if we can keep that kind of in that yawn, beginning yawn or position, it really helps. Here's the hard part. This is what your face typically looks like when you're in an position. Which is not good for any song unless you want to do a comedy, right? So it takes some time to go. The southern hemisphere of my head is just like Novocaine injection, and the upper hemisphere is lifted and like, so it feels really dropped and then really energized. You actually have to practice that, because like I have a lot of weird party tricks, like people, like I do that with my nose, and those are muscles that you learn to use, right? You just figure it out. They're muscles that you engage. So if I do that, it's the exact same thing. But when I ask my daughter to do it, she does this. Right? Because she can't separate those muscle groups. Right? When you start, you will not be able to separate this from here. So when this starts going up, this will start rising. Then you'll go, oh, and everything will drop. So you need to figure out how to separate those muscle groups a little bit. They're different, right? So that will help, and that will help exactly what you're feeling, exactly what you're thinking. Yeah.